Today, I'm joined by the lovely Mia, the founder of Manchester and Stockport Gals group. After moving to London and finding her community with like-minded women, Mia wanted to bring that same energy back up north. With a background in events, she's hosted everything from sip and paints, games nights, creating spaces where women can laugh, connect, and feel at home. I'm so excited to chat to her today about the power of community, turning an idea into something real, and the joy that comes with building something that you truly love. Thank you for joining me today. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm really excited to be part of your podcast. I'm a big fan.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Can you talk me through what led you in starting the group?
So it really is from my personal experience. About 5 or so years ago, I moved to London and I didn't know anybody. I didn't have any family or any friends down there. And I joined some of these groups just to make friends and meet people. And I really realised how much of a support network I got from that. Had some challenging times. It's not always easy going to these meetups. Some of them I went and I came away unsure. Some of them I went and I came away feeling amazing. But yeah, I made some amazing friends and some amazing connections from people from all different walks of life that I never would have met or had the opportunity to speak to. Some of the girls that are from all different countries, all different cultures, and yeah, it was just amazing to get that support network. And I don't think I would have survived 5 years in London without going to these groups. So fast forward 5 years, and me and my partner moved from London to Stockport, and I found myself in the same situation. So I'm here in Stockport, a lovely city, but I just don't really know anyone in the area. Initially, I looked out to see what was out there. I joined an aerial hoop class, tried to do a few things myself, but I felt like the women in the Stockport community just didn't have a platform to go and meet people and make friends in a safe environment. So that's what led me to start Manchester and Stockport Gals. And really, I did start it for myself as a small project, but then it kind of blew up and there's a real need for it in the Stockport community.
Amazing. Yeah, because you have a background in events as well, don't you? So I'm sure that really helps with you being able to create these events.
I didn't realise actually how much I wanted to do my own events until I started doing this. Obviously, in my workplace, I do specific events. I work on a lot of conferences and corporate, but this gives me the freedom to do what I want. And also, I think a lot of the girls that come are quite similar to me. So it's things that I enjoy. I love painting and drinking. So I did the paint and sip. I love going to meet people. That's what I feel like my work and my background in events has really helped me to make it a success.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And talk me through your move to London. How did you feel when you moved down? Can you just give me a bit of background around that?
Yes, I worked in TV before events and I got offered a job, but it's quite a high turnaround industry. So they said you have to start work next week.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Just pack up and move your whole life to London in a week. Yeah.
Yeah, it was exactly that. So I lived up north and then I had a week to move my entire life. I'd only been to London once.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't know it. I didn't know the tubes. But yeah, my amazing partner, he helped me move my stuff down. But he had a life up north. So he moved me down and then came back up here and I was just there. I felt very alone.
Yeah.
And quite stressed, out of my depth. But yeah, I managed to get through.
Yeah, London can be such a lonely city when you first move and you don't know anyone and you're just like, oh my gosh, how will I fit in here? And it feels like everyone's in a rush and kind of too busy almost.
Yeah.
But then when you do find the right people, it can just be the most amazing place. So I'm glad that you managed to do that.
Yeah, and it's so crazy because there's so many people from different backgrounds and different places in different countries in London, but then there's also so many lonely people who moved there and don't have any friends.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's amazing to bring these people together. One of my really close friends, she's from New Zealand, and I met her at one of these pages in London, and I never would have met her, and now she lives in Saudi Arabia, and it's amazing for me to think that I've got a friend who lives on the other side of the country and is having these amazing experiences. and I've got the opportunity to share it with her. So yeah, London is a big city and it is scary, but if you've got a group of friends around you, it's also amazing. So it can be the scariest place and the best place all at the same time.
Yeah, just like anywhere really, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
it's just all based on who you're around and your experiences. I know that you mentioned that sometimes it can feel a bit nerve-wracking to go to these events. How do you make sure that your events feel personal and welcoming?
Well, to be honest, we're all about positive vibes, bringing people in, talking to them as soon as they get there. I've got a little team around me that help me. We try and have the same team at each of the events. So me and my sister's helped me massively. We're always at the door greeting people. We always make sure that people have got a name badge on, because how awkward is it when you've been speaking to somebody for 2 hours and you can't remember their name?
So true. Yeah, and it's so easy to just when you're meeting so many people at the same time, it's easy
Yeah.
to forget, isn't it? That's a great touch. I love that.
When people come in, if we do see people that are standing on their own, or if we can tell, you can tell girls are nervous sometimes, we do actively try and introduce them to people. And I've also got this room spray, which is like a really nice perfume.
Ooh.
And that's just like a random extra thing that I do, just so that when people come in, it feels nice and fresh and they feel uplifted. I
That's
don't
so
know if
nice.
it works, but
That's so cute. I love that. That's such a nice touch. And I thought you smelled amazing when you came in. So, you know,
thanks.
it all makes sense. No, that's lovely. And do you find that girls who come, they come back to your other events as well?
Yeah, definitely. We have noticed the same people coming back, and it's nice to see the community growing and girls getting to know each other more. At the last event, there was a girl that came and she left early to go on a date, and I was chatting to the group of girls she had been with, and I said, "Oh, I wonder how she's getting on the date." And one of the girls who had met her a few times said, "Oh, she'll voice note me." And I just thought it's so nice that you are now on a level with that person
Yeah.
that you can voice note them and ask them about the date when a few weeks ago you didn't even know them.
I love that. That's so nice. And I bet you just feel so excited that you've made that connection happen.
Yeah, it really does feel like we're making a difference and we're making a change. Something else that we do when the girls get there, just to help them feel like less anxious and get to know each other, is we do games.
Yeah.
So like icebreaker games, and we give out these cards which are icebreaker cards. So it just really helps people when they come to get that conversation going, to get that common ground. Because sometimes when you meet people, it's hard to find common ground straight away. So these little games that we do, they are tailored to help people find common ground. We did a selfie game a few weeks ago, and it was super fun because the girls were given a topic. For example, find somebody who's been to the same concert as you. And all of the girls were running around chatting to different people. Which concerts have you been to? Which music do you like? And it was nice to see everybody kind of mingling with different people and also taking selfies, because that kind of breaks the barrier, and it definitely breaks like any awkwardness and gets the conversation going.
I love that. That's such a fun idea.
Yeah.
Give me one of your icebreakers. Let's do one.
We have the one that we were talking about earlier. Are you a type A or are you a type B?
Oh, yeah, because you asked me that when you got here off camera, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Tell each other like your favourite holiday destination, because I know a lot of people have been travelling, and if you've been travelling around Asia and you find someone else who's been travelling around Asia, then you immediately hit it off because there's so much to talk about.
So true.
And we try and touch upon all different backgrounds. So some people might want to stay in and watch movies. So one of the questions is, you know, what's your favourite movie? Talk about your favourite movies. What's your favourite podcast? Tiny Talks.
I love that plug.
But yeah, so it's just kind of getting the ball rolling. Some of them are a little bit out there, like what's a hobby that you've always wanted to start but you haven't started? What's an embarrassing thing that you've done on a night out?
That's so funny. I
Just
love
things
that.
like that.
Yeah, great idea. And honestly, I feel like having that assistance must really help, because even when you go to events and say you go and maybe you feel like, oh, what do I start talking to someone about? And if you're not naturally a very extroverted person, it's nice to have those little assists there, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And people do come to our events alone and they come with friends, but in particularly for the people that come alone, it is just about breaking that barrier. And as soon as people come in, I do try and introduce the girls and get them talking, because it just breaks the ice, and that's what I'm there for. I'm there to give them a space, a safe space and a platform to come meet people. So yeah, I try and break the wall down as soon as I can, whether it's from introducing them or doing an icebreaker or a game.
It must be so rewarding, because building out any community is so rewarding, isn't it? And just making new friends is the best. What's one moment that you've had that's made you think, yes, this is why I started it?
There's been many. A lot of the girls come up to me and thank me, which is really rewarding. But one particular moment was at a recent event where I met this amazing woman and she was chatting to me all day. But then at the very end, she came up to me and said that she basically works full time, but she was struggling to make friends and she was feeling so lonely that she got a part-time job in a bar. She's got this full-time job and she gets this part-time job in a bar just to make friends. But she said when she saw Manchester and Stockport Gals, it gave her hope that she could leave her part-time job. She didn't need the money. She said she was just burning herself out just to meet people in a bar, and she wasn't meeting the right people either. She'd met some people and made a group, but she wasn't really comfortable in that group. And then when she came to Manchester and Stockport Gals, she felt like she could finally leave that job and make friends in a way that was fun and meet people that she actually would get along with. And really, when she said that to me, I felt like I was tearing up, because wow, like, we're not just doing events and meeting people here, we're changing lives.
Yeah.
Really. So yeah, it's really powerful. I think it's really powerful for women to have support and have that friendship around them. It's important.
It's so important.
Yeah.
Because loneliness is something that so many of us experience. Like, obviously you experienced it when you moved to London. And the first month that I was in London, I definitely felt that way. And, you know, even off camera, we were talking about what it feels like when you first move to uni, and if you don't feel like you find your people straight away. So just being able to influence that must be amazing.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, loneliness is a major thing in our society. We've got, you know, a lot going on with people on social media and they're showing this amazing life with these amazing friends. And I think it really makes people who are lonely feel worse. And there's a lot of women on the earth doing amazing things, like moving to new countries, moving to new cities and putting themselves out there. But then they get to the new place and they feel lonely because they don't have the community and the friendship around them. And there's this weird stigma around being lonely and admitting that you've not got any friends. And yeah, I think it's really sad that that's a thing, because why is it embarrassing that you've not got any friends? You've just moved to a new city. Of course you're not going to know anybody. So yeah, I really hope with the page and with everything that we're doing that we can help women to meet people. I can't say I can completely get rid of loneliness in society, but I can do my best.
Yeah.
So,
and you're doing your bit to help, which is really nice. Yeah, and I think a point that you mentioned before is when you feel embarrassed about moving somewhere, and that is really the point, that you should look to go to a group like this or look to see what you can do, because you can feel bad, but then you've got to try and do something to change that perspective, don't you? And just taking that small step could really help, and like help you get that network that you've been wanting.
yeah.
And it's so hard going through things without friends, isn't it? Or even when you have a good experience and you want to share it with your friend. I love that you're creating that connection for people.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. If you're excited about something, you've just started a new job and you just want to go to the pub with your friends and just celebrate, but you've got nobody there, and you might have people on FaceTime, but it is really not the same as real life connection. And it is hard to put yourself out there, but all you have to do is get yourself to one of our events, step through the door, and we'll do the rest. and hopefully, you know, help you to meet people and help you to have that group, because everyone needs their gals.
Yeah. Yeah, and it is really just as simple as that. Like, get yourself to an event and you will meet friends. And like, just taking that small step, like it is really just a small step.
Yeah, it's just about getting yourself out there. But I do appreciate, I've been there, and I try and say this to girls at the event, I have been in your position. I know it's not easy, and it is about trial and error. It's very much like the dating world, not to scare anyone off, but you might meet a girl who you really get along with and you think, wow, actually, like, yeah, I want to see them again. And then you might meet someone who's just not your cup of tea, and that's fine. It's all about finding your group. And you know how they say, finding your tribe? Like, I really resonate with that, because there's so many people out there. Your girl group is out there, and everybody needs their girl group. So it's just about finding them.
With your community, what are their situations? Have they moved to new cities, or like what do you see predominantly come through?
It's a big range, really. There's a lot of girls who have moved to Manchester who come to our groups who don't really know anyone. But there's also a lot of girls in Stockport who have lived in Stockport their entire lives. And, you know, a lot of people make friends at high school and at college and at uni and then at work, but there's not the opportunity to make friends from different walks of life. You're always with these people. And then if you don't get along with the people at work, or you lose touch, then you're stuck and you've got nowhere to go. So I think there's people who have been in Stockport their entire life and they're just looking for new friends. There's people who have just moved here. And also the girls who have gone to uni in a different city and then moved back because, you know, after uni, everybody kind of splits up and goes their own way, don't they? And I've experienced that. I'm sure you've experienced that. So when you go back to your hometown, it's sort of expected, I guess, that you'd go back to your childhood friends. But if you've not got that, then how are you supposed to meet them? But you'd be surprised, because I've moved here with my partner. We moved to Stockport itself so that we could be with his family. And there's another girl who I met at the group who, she's in the same situation. She's from a different city and she moved to Stockport with her partner for his family. So you might meet people who are in exactly the same situation. And it was really comforting for me to meet someone that's in the same situation, because it's just that common ground, isn't it? Like, oh, you get it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think we touched on this earlier, but with loneliness, do you feel like there's a reason why people are more lonely now?
I think that loneliness is a bigger thing. I think social media does impact that, because when you are feeling lonely and you do see on social media girls going out with their group and you feel like, why am I not there? Or even it might be people that you were friends with and why am I not invited? And it makes you feel worse.
Yeah.
So you've almost got the world on your phone in your face telling you how lonely you are and that you've not got anybody, and look at what they've got and look what she's doing. So I think that does add to loneliness. And I think also what I touched upon earlier, people are doing amazing things. People are putting themselves out there and moving to new countries and new cities. But then that comes with that a lot of loneliness, because they move to a new place and they don't know anyone. And yeah, I think it's really sad, because like you said, it's not nice to not have people to share these experiences with, and it's not nice to not have people around you and support, and especially for women, and women with children or women without children, older women, younger women. There's all different women from different walks of life that are lonely. And, you know, I've had women in their 60s reach out to me. I've had women in their 40s, 30s, and I've had teenagers. And, you know, it does make me sad that even teenagers who are at high school, who have people around them every single day, they're feeling lonely.
I think sometimes maybe texting and phone calls are also a part that plays into loneliness, like not even just a symptom of loneliness, if that makes sense. So it's not just seeing this happen, it's also the fact that I think sometimes now it's seen as, oh, I have talked to them or I have communicated with them.
Yeah.
But it's just not the same as spending time with someone, is it? And sometimes if you're going through things, you can be texting your friends or like calling them to tell them about it, but it can feel very short and cut off, and sometimes you just need to be around someone else to take your mind off something that you're going through.
Yeah. Sometimes you need a hug.
Yeah.
You need that physical hug. You need to talk to somebody and see somebody like this. And when I lived in London and I would FaceTime my family or my friends, it did make me feel worse because it makes you realise what you're not being part of. It's about the experience.
Yeah.
Us sitting here now, it's lovely to have the experience of talking and seeing each other. Whereas if you're on a phone, it's just not the same.
What advice would you give to someone who's moved to a new city or are trying to make new friends as an adult?
I would say don't be afraid to put yourself out there, and also don't think that it's going to happen overnight, because you do have to put the work in. As I mentioned earlier about the dating, obviously it's not dating, but it is very much finding your people and your tribe. So put yourself out there, go to some meetups, meet new people, and if you don't meet your tribe the first time, go again and just see who you connect with and just put the work in, because the reward is really worth it.
Yeah, no, I love that. And say if someone didn't feel confident enough yet to come to meetups, what other advice might you give them about like trying to make friends and connect with people?
I would say, put yourself in a position where it could happen. So go to a class, maybe a dance class. Maybe if you're into reading, go to a book club. If you love going to cafes, go to your local cafe, but go to the same cafe every Saturday. You'll see the same people, you might get chatting, and don't be afraid to say hi and compliment as well. Like, one thing that I always do is if I see something on another girl and I love her outfit, I always compliment her and I try and start that conversation if I can. So yeah, just try your best to put yourself in a position where it could happen. And if it's meant to be, it will.
That's actually great advice. Actually, I made friends with someone because we were both working in Ducey Street and she came up to me and she was like, oh, I like your dress. And, we had like a short chat then.
Yeah.
And then later on, we both were in the toilet at the same time, just washing our hands. And then we like suddenly just like really hit it off. And honestly, if she'd never come up to me and had that conversation, I wouldn't have that friend in my life.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That is such a nice story, but it does, and also it's about like good vibes and positive energy. If you're putting out the good vibes and the positive energy, it's going to come back to you. So, just be that good energy, be that ray of light, and then you'll get that back to you.
Yeah. You never know how much you make someone's day by just saying something nice to them, because they do really, hold on to that. So I think that's great advice. Yeah, I feel like you're a seasoned pro at making friends.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I've got the experience. I obviously lived in London, and then I did a season in Ibiza, and it was the same. I was only 18 at the time, so this was like...
So young.
Baby me.
Yeah.
I said to my friends at the time, I want to do a season in Ibiza, and they all said they wanted to do it and they were on board, but it never actually happened. So then one day I just booked a flight and I said to the girls, I'm going on this day. If you want to come, you're more than welcome. If not, I'm going on my own. Of course, I didn't think that I would actually end up going on my own.
Yeah.
But I did.
I literally love that. I love that you didn't let other people stop you from doing something that you really wanted to do, because that takes a lot of guts. So
it was tough, and it was actually the first time I'd flown on my own.
Really?
But I met this girl called Izzy, who's one of my best friends now, and I met her on a Facebook group, and she said she's going to Ibiza to do a season, and I messaged her, I'm going to do a season, let's meet. And we met at the airport in Ibiza. So I obviously had never met her before. I'd only spoken to her on Facebook Messenger. So I got the plane on my own. I landed and she was the first face that I saw. I ended up living with her the entire time. That was 10 years ago, and we're still best friends to this day.
I love that.
So it just shows.
What a sweet story. Change or putting yourself into uncomfortable situations do really help, because me and my friend were talking about this. We were just talking about our uni experiences, and he said that he found uni quite difficult because he went to the same school from when he was 3 years old up until 18. Yeah, pretty much his whole life. he'd had the same friends, you know, his whole life. He never really had to make new friends. And so going to uni, he just didn't have that muscle. It's like anything.
Yeah.
Once you do it more, the easier it gets. We were talking about this and I was saying, I think I've found it easier to be put in that situation because when I was younger, my family, we moved around a lot.
Yeah.
So I constantly was going to different schools and I was constantly in that uncomfortable situation of like, okay, now I've got to, you know, go and make new friends.
Yeah.
And at the time, did I like it? No. But now looking back, am I grateful that I had those experiences? Yes, because I think it made me able to be a bit more extroverted and a bit more open to, you know, making new friends.
That's lovely to hear because you are right. It's not nice. Change is not nice. Going to things on your own can sometimes be really daunting and not nice, but it does give you that resilience and get yourself out there. And it's interesting that you say once you start, it gets easier. And I've never really thought about that, but it's true. Like when I was 18, I didn't even realise, but I was already putting myself out there and putting myself in them positions. So now at the age of 28, I'm seasoned pro, but yeah, maybe it's been such a big build up that I was meant to be in this position and helping people connect and kind of helping others to gain that strength to do that.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow, I feel inspired. Who is she?
What's next for Manchester and Stockport Gals? Do you have any dream events that you'd love to run?
Well, we've got a lot of exciting things in preparation. Our next event is a speed friending event.
That's so fun.
It's going to be really fun. It's not going to be too intense. So it's a bit of a mixer / speed friending. I'm really trying to get some like wellness events going.
Nice.
But nothing's confirmed yet apart from the speed friending. And I think my dream event, I would actually love to do a big festival, all for women who want to come and camp and make friends with some amazing, really like empowering female artists, just to help women, you know, feel empowered and be with the girls and have that support around them and have the opportunity to do something fun while making friends.
I'd love that. Oh my God, sign me up. That sounds so fun. Yeah, that's a great event. What should people expect when they come to your events?
People should expect to come and have a fun time and meet people. Even though the basis of the events and the page is to come and meet gals and make friends, we also want people to have fun, and that's why we run events with activities going on, for example the paint and sip and the mixers and the icebreakers, because we want you to come and have a good night as well as making friends. I think it also makes it easier to make friends when there's stuff going on, entertainment, icebreakers. So yeah, if you're going to come to the event, expect a fun night, expect to hopefully make some friends, and yeah, just try not to put too much stress on it, because like I said earlier, all you need to do is get yourself to the door and we'll do the rest.
Yeah. Totally takes the pressure off as well, doesn't it, doing an activity? Because one of my friends, she was saying she's got ADHD and she finds it hard, you know, having face-to-face, like one-to-one conversations.
Yeah.
She much prefers to be doing something. So like we'll play cards and we'll chat, or like we'll do an activity like painting and we'll chat, because it makes her feel more comfortable. And I do get it, because sometimes I've felt like when I go on walks with friends, because you're doing something, it's much easier to open up and just feel more relaxed. So it's a good idea.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It also gets the conversation going, as well as like the icebreakers. We also have Uno, Jenga, like all your classic games. Everybody knows those games. So it's also another reason to kind of get talking, play the game, get the ice broken. So yeah, we've got a lot going on.
Okay, we're going to do our rapid fire question round. Dream city for a girls' trip?
Paris.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be really fun. Bit of shopping, bit of drinking.
Some croissants.
croissants.
Very Emily in Paris vibes. I love it. I know you've already mentioned this, but what do you think is the best icebreaker you've ever heard?
It's quite a basic one, but where's your favourite holiday destination? Because people love talking about their holidays.
Yeah, for sure. Where's your favourite holiday destination?
I think Bali, because that's where I got engaged.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank
I didn't
you.
realise you're engaged.
Yeah.
When are you going to be wed?
Next July.
Oh,
9th of
lovely.
July.
Where are you doing it?
We're doing it in Italy.
Gorgeous.
In Tuscany.
Oh my God, that'll be so fun. Oh, has your events planning really kicked in for this?
It has, but we've actually got a wedding planner.
Oh, do you?
So it's nice to actually let someone else take the reins and just tell her what I like and get her to sort it all out.
Incredible. Yeah, that'll be so nice. So when
Yeah.
did you get engaged?
We actually got engaged about 3 years ago.
Oh, wow.
So we've
You've had a long engagement.
Yeah, we've had a long engagement. It was just before we moved back up north. So we were kind of in a transition process of being down south and up north. And then we went traveling around Asia. So yeah, I didn't expect it to happen. And then we just said, oh, let's have a long engagement and we can plan a destination wedding. So yeah,
Amazing.
it's so exciting.
That is so exciting. I love that. One word to describe your group.
It's actually 2 words, but good vibes.
Yeah. I love that. I really want to come to an event. It'll be so fun.
Yeah, you're more than welcome.
Yeah.
You should come.
Definitely. Favourite local spot to hang out in Stockport or Manchester?
I actually really like Cherry Jam, which is where we had our recent event. It's a really cool little cocktail bar in Stockport.
Yeah, they have such nice interiors, don't they? And the cocktails are really nice as well.
Yeah, and they've got like all neon lights in there, so you get some cute pictures.
Yeah, it's super like 60s girly vibes, isn't it? Tell me, where would you be eating in Stockport or Manchester?
My actual all-time favourite restaurant is Gusto's.
Oh, where's that?
So there's one in Cheadle. So it's got like all fairy lights in the window and it's just really cosy and like cute vibes.
Cute.
Yeah, it's Italian, you should give it a
try. Yeah, I will have to. Most underrated thing about our area?
I'd say the most underrated thing about Stockport is Stockport, because people who don't live in Stockport don't realise like the vibe that's here. It's such a niche little town. And when I've lived in different cities and I've heard of Stockport, I've never really had a need to move here. But now I live here, it's really cool. There's so much going on. There's the old cobble streets, little quirky shops. And if you don't live here or you don't come here, you just don't know about that. So yeah, the whole of Stockport.
Yeah, it's the best kept secret, isn't it?
And the Peel Centre.
And the Peel Centre. Amazing. That was us. Thank you so much.